Now that's a masterpiece. The end. Hello there, humans. I'm Dulce Silbruno, the partially blind alien from a distant galaxy who is an Own Voices author. And this is a book review because I am standing on this side of the window and the filter is red. And yeah, I'm gonna talk about a book. And yeah, and the title says book review. Am I not too obvious? Yeah, I'm bad at this thing. Anyway, finally, life was gentle and kind, and I finished a book that I had in my TBR for quite a while now. And poor Becky. I have to say, people are going to be, after the 2 book reviews that I have in my playlist, they're going to be like, so you're here just to gush about books and you don't want to have you don't want to be sincere and you don't want to talk about negative reviews and blah, blah, blah. No, that's not what I'm going to do with this. But like I have been saying in other of my videos, if I talk about a book, say, okay, I'm going to read a book, and I say it once and I don't mention it again, there you got your proof that probably I give it a 1 star or I DNF'd it. Okay. If I talk about a book, like the case of this one, and I say, gosh, I want to finish, but I don't have the time, and then I talk about it again in another video, you probably know that I am reading it. And it is really just life being a bitch. But if I talk about something more than once, then it means I want to show some support of sorts, despite me not finishing the thing for a review. Now, this is what you get when I finally finish a book. I'm blind and I have to listen to audiobooks or worse, the robotic voice narrating it to me, because that's my only choice. But anyway, enough of my disclaimers and rambles. I want to gush about this book because damn, it deserves it. Whew, where do I even begin? Okay, you guys know sci-fi is my jam. I read in other genres, but I prefer to start with sci-fi, so you get to know me, my sci-fi taste, and yeah. Anyway, I'm going to review other books in other genres, AuthorTube or no AuthorTube, I don't care. But for now, let's stick with Becky Chambers. Becky Chambers is The Long Way to a Small Angry Planet, which is the first book in a Wayfarer series. I have to get to the other books. All right. From a previous book review, you know that I evaluate the books in this way. Did I put the book down? And in this case, I have to, correct myself. Did I want to put the book down or not? Because sometimes I have to put the book down because, like I said, life happens. So, did I want to put the book down? What about the characters and character development? What about the structure? What about the writing? And the 5th star-ish, it will be purely subjective. Did I connect with it? Didn't I connect with it? And all that kind of stuff. So, let's get quick with this. Did I want to put the book down? No. Did I put it down? Yes, because life was a boo. But I didn't want to put it down. And when I finally had the time to, dive in and stay there, I don't regret any single second that I invested in this book. And for me to say that, that's my reading style. When I have an audiobook that I am enjoying so much, it's like the world stops and I just have to read, listen. And the only thing that I'm capable of doing is maybe cooking my things, eat. So if I have other things to do outside, if I have a class that day, if I have a lecture, if I have to go and do my job, if I have some paperwork to do, I will have to put the book down, and that completely takes me out of that world. And it's ugh. But say you have time on a Sunday or something, or a day off, that's the time. And wow. Thank you, Becky, for this book. So I didn't want to put down, I would give it a whole star. The narrator was incredible. The narrator had unique style to give a voice to each of the characters. It wasn't a huge cast to say like big, but it was big enough. It was a crew of 9 sapiens. So, and there were some other characters on the side, so it was big-ish. It was like middle-sized cast, and this narrator had a voice for everybody. I always knew who was talking. It was amazing. This kind of evaluation is going to happen if I have an audiobook versus the silly robotic voice, because, you know, although the writers can work their way to make me hear a different voice even when the robot is speaking, so we will see. It will depend on, you know, each book. We will see how my reviews develop in that sense. But for this one, what an amazing narrator. I want that narrator for my own audiobooks. I'm just saying. I loved it. I didn't want to put the book down. So a whole star goes right there. So there you go. Count the stars, because I'm not very good at this, and I don't know if I will find graphics later on. Dal from the future, that's a problem for you. But there, 1 star. Now, characters, like I said, there was a crew of 9 sapiens. I should say 10. 9? Wait. 9. Yeah, I'm trying to remember if I'm counting the AI or I'm leaving it out by mistake. But no, it really was a crew of 9. And so we had some humans. We had Captain Ashby Sentoso, who's a human, an Exodon, something like that. Exodons were like Earthlings that left Earth, and, you know, that kind of thing. And they lived in space for, think of Wall-E, but they were not fat. Something like that. There were the techies, you know, the techs, Kissy and Jinx. There was the new clerk, Rosemary. This is where the story begins, with Rosemary. She's from Mars. There was also Artist Carbon, which is like the one in charge of the fuel, which is made of algae and stuff. Okay, and then there are the aliens, sapient aliens. There was this Andrisk female, Syssix. There was the navigator, who is a pilot. There was a navigator, Ohan, who is like a psionet, something like that. I'm terrible with alien names because I am not seeing them spelled, so I'm pronouncing it the way I heard them. And also there was Dr. Chef, who is Grum. That was the name of the species, Grum. Now, I have to say, I liked every single character. And one more. Why am I doing this? This is so... I have my reasons, and I know why. There was also Lovey, who is the Wayfarer's AI. And I like the character. Like I said, I loved every single character in this book. I have no complaints whatsoever. Even Corbin. I know Corbin was an asshole, but I'm not going to spoil anything. I knew that there was some reasons for that, and I knew, like... I know this kind of character archetype very well, so I was like, there's something going on for you, isn't it? Also, I empathized with Corbin because Syssix is this Andrisk woman who would be what humans would call a reptile. And reptiles cannot keep themselves warm, so they need a warmer temperature in the ship. This was a problem for Corbin, and I empathize, bro. I hear you. I wouldn't be able to coexist with Syssix or anyone from her species because I'm gonna be like, man, I'm dying. It's too hot. It's too freaking, can you put it down? So that was one of the things where a lot of people wouldn't like this character, and I'm like, okay, you are an asshole, but I hear you. It's too hot. I get so angry when it's hot. Like, I understand you. Maybe I don't like you 100%, but I understand you. And then there was Captain Ashby. He was very, like the peacekeeper. He has to, because, he's the one in charge of this crew. Then there was Ohan, who was like in their own little world, because the thing with Ohan is that they it's a male, but it's a pair. It's an alien species that they call themselves a pair because they have different, like what we call neurodivergence representation. Yes, of some sort. I'm not neurodivergent myself, or I don't know. I haven't been diagnosed. Who knows? But representation of some sort. There was Ohan. Okay, they were nice, but they were in their own little world. They were a good character, but they were in their own thing. Who else? Dr. Chef, really, really kind and really humorous and, I don't know, sincere. It was such a good character. And then the techies, goodness gracious, the techies, Kissy had me cackling every other scene. Kissy was like, I don't know, I would totally hang out with her. I would totally present her with Hatari. I was like, hey, look, this is something from the past. And she would be like, oh, I like it. Yeah, so she had me at one of those scenes when she was listening to music and she was listening to a band that was kind of rebellious. And she was like, oh, I don't think if they are a band that hates the system so much, I don't care. I don't think they would care about my misheard lyrics. Fuck the system. I was like, Hatarar know what I'm talking about. Sorry for laughing like this. I loved Kissy. Damn, I love that character. She's awesome. And then there's also Jinx, and Jinx was a human, but he was a gene tweak, and he's small. He's like short, very, very short. He looks like a child, but he's an adult, but the size, you know, his height, he's like a child. And I was like, okay. I have a soft spot for shorty people, so I'm like, yeah, that was cute. And then there's Lovey, or Lovelace, but I call her Lovey because that's her nickname and that's how everybody calls her, so she's Lovey. And I loved the development of these characters, every single one of them. There were also other side characters in the story that, you know, wow. This person, Becky Chambers, you rock. I have no complaint. I have no complaint whatsoever with the character. There goes another star. Bonus point for reminding me of Hatari. So there are 2 stars and so, but the and so we'll leave it for the end. Anyway, 2 stars. Count out from the future. Anyway, now let's talk about the story structure. Again, people would say that this sci-fi was really not your typical sci-fi. And I totally agree, because this was... It had a structure, I promise, it did. The story moved forward, there was a central theme that, you know, first Rosemary comes to the spaceship because they needed someone who could be their cleric, because they were very good at what they were doing, but they needed someone who was good with the, you know, form work. I understand and I empathize with this situation because I suck big time when it comes to like spreadsheets and forms and, you know, paperwork. I suck huge time, and I will need assistance in the future. So I was like, yay, Rosemary, we need you, Rosemary. And but then Rosemary arrives. Then there's a... I'm not going to spoil anything. This is why I am not talking about any major relevant scene. If I talk about anything, it's because I feel like it's just a slice of a character, but it's nothing that will spoil anything. But then she comes, and then they have tunneling the next day. So tunneling, what is this tunneling? Now I'm going to talk about the Wayfarer. These crew are in charge of punching tunnels in the times in time and space. So it's like wormholes kind of thing. This theory of moving through space, cutting a hole here and another hole over here, and so this gap will be closed because they are punching through space and time. And that's where they need Ohan, because, that they are very good at this. And it's essential for this kind of job. So this is where these cyanide aliens are very good at, and they cooperate in, this galactic, whatever, galactic commoners, whatever. And so Rosemary comes, then comes the first, small job of tunneling here and there, and they do this tunneling thing and whatever. And then something else happens, which is important. There's a bigger job, and then there is some other thing, and there's some other thing. So there is a sense and a cohesion to the story. There is coherence, there is a beginning, a middle, and an end, but in a way that is really not predictable. I had no idea what was coming next. In a good way. I didn't feel like it was a lackluster of a mess of a story and that had no coherence. No. This was very coherent, but so rich and unique. And it was like a slice of life, because the main focus of this thing, despite the whole theme of the story, which would be like the plot of the book, the main focus were the characters. And I was delighted. This was so refreshing. Oh, I would reread this anytime. I would pick up this audiobook again and again and again and again. I don't care. What an amazing piece. The structure had me entertained. I didn't see it coming. Wow. Another star goes there. Doll of the future. There. 3 stars so far. No complaint. At all. Wow. And I swear to all of you that I'm being objective. It's not that, because you like sci-fi, but because it's your genre, or because you like space stories. All of that, yeah, but seriously, whenever you have the time to dive into this book, it's going to keep you entertained from start to finish. And the fear word, the F word, it's not going to feel formulaic. So, well done, Becky Chambers. Congratulations, this was unbelievably amazing and very creative. Now, let's talk about the writing. Okay, here's where I have a few minor critics, but I'm thinking, I'm kind of like, maybe I need more time to do this, to film this book review, because there were a few moments where they mentioned hell, like the expression of hell, and wow, so that expression survived so many years into the future, and all this, the Christian influence, I'm like, okay. That was one of those moments when I was like, But then again, the moment when that came was from a human. So it was a human character. So maybe I will give it the benefit of the doubt, but yeah, that happened. Now, to counteract this little slip, maybe, there were so many other good things about this world building, and wow, the writing was superb. First of all, there was no mention of English. It wasn't English. The common language was clip. Of course, the book is in English because we are in our times, and so it has to be written in one language, right? So English for us and the book, because the writer speaks English, that's the native language. But for what is English to us, the common language, the lingua franca, was called clip. That was the main thing. It was called clip. It was not English. Clip. And there were other languages involved. There was Sisik's language. Was it Rashkikish? Yeah? Rashkikish? That's how I heard it. And there was also Hanto. And the Hanto is from this Harmadian species. And also there was Grum. But that language is like... I'm not even going to try to imitate that, but it was like a cacophony of sounds blended together in vocal cord harmonies. It was the description. When I heard those descriptions, but wow, I was like, okay, I really like this world building and multiculturalism, and multi-species, and wow, wow, wow. Now, there was a little bit of Planet of the Hat syndrome, in the sense that every creature had a planet, a whole planet thingy, but I thought of it. I thought of that before, but then as the story progressed, I understood that no, they don't look the same. There was a scene, for example, when they visit Sisik's home planet, and one of these Andres children were like, I know all my scale colors. You are green blue, she is blue green, Sisik is green green, and so they were like variations. I was like, okay, I like that. That's nice. So my first assumption of, oh no, Planet of the Hats, no. Actually, no. It was very mixed and very diverse within what a single book can accomplish. So wow, what an amazing writer. The writing as a craft in itself, there were moments where, of course, you had the text, so there were some technology, technobabble thing going on, but it didn't feel intimidating at all. I could picture it, and I am not very good with I'm not an engineer. I couldn't figure out engineering things to save my life. I am ashamed to my father saying this on taxi. but when I read it, it was easy. It wasn't hard to follow. It wasn't like, oh, there we go with the technobabble. No, it was really nice. So the writing in itself, despite this little minor teeny tiny slips that are not going to take away from a star, because I'm still leaving the star, because this was so well written. It was a multiple POV, and I was never confused, and that is really hard to pull off. I am so thankful for this book. Oh my god, 4 stars so far. So the remaining star is just pure personal thing. Here is where I am like, maybe not giving it a full star, because there were some things that, it's not that I agree or disagree, but I have some mixed feelings. A very few things that I have some kind of mixed feelings. And if you know me, if you know my personality and my thoughts and my values and things, you have read the book, you will find out maybe where I have mixed feelings. But at the same time, not really, because even though I might agree or disagree or whatever, it was told in a way that I understood the situation. What had to be done was done. And even if it's really, it was sort of controversial, but it's okay. I don't have to agree with every single thing that is told in a book for me to say, oh, I like it. But it's something that leaves you pondering, it leaves you thinking. It makes you analyze things, not just this escapism of, my god, I cannot say that word. Escapism of just, it's an entertaining sci-fi story. No, it's not just about that. It really left you with things to think about, and wow. So, as you can tell from this review, I give this book 5. If I don't give it 5 stars, it will be like a 4.75. Seriously, for that, just give it the whole 5 stars and shut the crap up. Give it a 5 stars. That's it. It's 5 stars from me. I have no complaints. I have things that I'm like, I have to think about it. But also, the ending of this book. Gosh, the ending was gorgeous. I'm just gonna say that. It was like there was this little child self of mine that the ending of this thing, I'm just remembering right now, and my eyes are watering. It's the child version of myself would have been delighted to have a book like this, even though I wouldn't have understood all the things that I needed to understand at that young age. But wow, yeah, shut up and just give it 5 stars. So that was my review. Thank you very much for watching. I hope that all my gushing about this book makes you want to pick it up, if you haven't picked it up already, or in the case of a friend of mine here on YouTube, if you have picked it up and you have not had the time to finish it, I recommend you, full recommend you to, whenever you have a day off, pick it up again and just go with it. Just finish the damn book, because you will not regret it. It's a real good book. So that's it from me for now. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.